We are getting ready to run our very first Whatnot show of the year. You can see behind me, we're going to be doing used golf polos. So that's going to be the theme of the show that we're doing tonight. I wanted to show you how we prep for the show and then behind the scenes to give you an insight on how you can run your Whatnot show. We are a duo, so keep that in mind. So we're going to do things a little different than if it was just one person, but there are so many ways to do Whatnot shows, and if you haven't started, you just need to start. So hopefully you'll gain some insight, and we'll share all the tips that we have. Now you can see there are 2 racks of golf polos. We're not going to do a very long show tonight because Casey is working a seasonal job, so he's coming home in probably 20 minutes. We're probably only going to run about 40 to 50 shirts. So I'm going to have to take some of these off and I'll put them on the bed that I use to photograph things, and I'll show you right now. So I'll put them here, and then I know that those were the ones that weren't ran, but they've already been looked through. So that's an important thing. So I'll put them on the bed, and then that way I know that I've already looked them over for any flaws that there might have, and then I can use those for future shows. So those are all the ones that I pulled off the rack, and this will be the rack that we're going to do the show. All right, so I have everything is organized by size. So here's small, and then after that, there's medium. After that will be large, XL. These I believe are XL too. Yep, XL, and then the 2 XLs are going to be here. But when I'm doing that, I actually use very, very thin. You can see how thin the hangers are, so I can fit more on there. And then any flaw that there is, I'll actually write it and put it on here. That way when we're pulling it, we know that there's something wrong. So this one is, color is two-toned. So it kind of has a two-tone, which isn't really a flaw, but just to remind the buyer. Let's see if I can find another one. So like this one, there's a snag on the back, so we know to look for that. And then when we're running it, we will let the buyers know. Otherwise, if they get it and there's a snag, they might be a little upset. Now that we have all the polos ready for our polo show tonight, I want to show you how simple it is to schedule a show. All right, so when you open up the app, you're gonna be on the main page where they show you like people that are live. The very bottom, there's a plus sign that says sell. You're gonna press that. You're gonna select schedule a show and then create a title for your show. We're gonna do used golf polo shirts. I should probably put men's. I always put an emoji just in case. I think it looks better like when you go live and it pops up and notifies whoever's bookmarked it. I think it catches people's eyes. We're going to schedule it for the 21st, which is next Tuesday. And this is just, we've already have it scheduled, but this is just to show you how to do it. And then let's say we're going to start the show at 11 a.m. And it does not repeat. You can add moderators. We have our friend Collectors Alley. And that is our friend Ryan. He sometimes mods for us. And then Ronnie and the Flips. So sometimes they'll mod for us, and what they do is just hang out in the chat, answer any questions, maybe pin a question that somebody had that maybe we missed because the chat was going so fast. You don't have to have a mod though, but we tend to just put them in. That way, if they do happen to catch the show, then they are mods already, and I don't have to go in during the show and add them. We're going to add a picture thumbnail that I made on Canva. And then scroll down. Our category is golf, but depending on what you're going to sell, you can go through, let's say you're going to do storage units, you would choose that. Maybe you're going to do toys, choose that category. Ours is golf. And then it's going to be an auction, and then some tags we're going to put to help Whatnot know what the show's going to be about. Men's, used, activewear, And then in the shipping area, you can do free pickup. I highly suggest it. If you've got somebody in the show who buys stuff and they're local, then they can arrange something after the show and come and pick up their items. That way they don't have to be charged for shipping. Domestic shipping costs for anything that's between 1 to 5 pounds. These are usually between 8 and 11 ounces. So I choose priority mail. I could do flat rate boxes. So it has to be one or the other, and you select it during the show. So if I did priority and we sold like 4 golf polos to one person, then I could use the priority shoebox. Any of them that are not post office flat rate boxes, as long as they're priority boxes, I could use them to ship in. Or you could choose flat rate, and let's say somebody bought 4 polos, you could put them in maybe a medium or a large flat rate box. Anything over 5 pounds, some people will purchase over 5 pounds. We had somebody that bought 19 polo shirts in one show, which was crazy. We had to actually upgrade the label because all of those polos, we wanted them all to go together and not have to do 2 separate shipping labels. And that ended up being over 5 pounds, so we had to do an adjustment. But we had chose Ground Advantage and used one of our boxes. But if we would have chosen the flat rate box and he purchased the 19 polos, I would have had to try to fit all 19 in a large priority flat rate box, and I was not able to do that. So then I would have had to probably purchase a second label, which is why we've done just Ground Advantage. Or you could do priority, and then priority the same thing. If it's over 5 pounds, you could use one of the priority boxes, or you could use one of your own. So let's do that. Save it. And I always choose sensitive content just because you never know who's going to be watching, and I just feel better. What if we swear? What if somebody sees we're drinking a beer? I mean, I believe you're allowed to do that. We don't sit there and have beer out. We might pour it in a cup or something, but what happens if we swear or say a word or whatever? I just usually put that. And then you can mute any words. So maybe there's a specific word that somebody keeps coming into your show and typing in the chat. You can actually exclude that word in your show. And then our primary language is English, and we're going to hit schedule. Now you can see that our show is there. You can share the show. I highly recommend if you have social media. Anytime we have a show, we always share it to our Instagram stories with a link to the show so people can bookmark it. And that just has really helped us get a lot more bookmarks. And I have a feeling that the more bookmarks you have, the more likely Whatnot is going to recommend your show when people are searching them. You can put show notes. In the show notes, I like to put maybe some of the specific brands that we're going to be having in the show. And then also to remind them that they are used polo shirts and that sometimes some of them may have a defect. We will do our best to disclose the defect in the show as best as we can. Now, if you click on the little, it looks like a little store with a yellow circle around it. If you click on that, we haven't added anything to the show because this show is brand new. So if I were to add some of these polos, there are 3 different ways that I could add them to the show, and kind of what we've learned, different strategies of how people do their live shows. So the first one would be to go through each individual polo shirt, write down what it is, the size, maybe the color, and add that as an individual listing. You can see there's lots of polos. I don't have the time to be writing them down and adding each individual one. It could maybe help, though. I could see how that would help if you're running a show, because people could look through and be like, have you ran the medium Travis Matthew blue polo shirt yet? People might come in and browse that and look for specific items and ask you to run it. But that's one way that you could do it. Another one is group your polos by weight. This could also be a strategy if maybe you are doing like storage units and you've got really small items, you've got medium items, and you've got large items. So maybe the small items that you have are under 7 ounces, 7 ounces and below. So you might have a listing with 30 items and it might say, we'll use the golf polo shirts, golf polo shirt small. And I know that's going to be from the rack with all the small polo shirts. They might not be size small, but weight-wise, they're small. Then maybe you have polo shirts that are between 8 and 11 ounces. So that's going to be golf polo shirt medium. And you might have 30 of those. Then maybe you'll have 30 of golf polo large. So when you go to grab one and you run it, you're going to run it either as a small, medium, or large based on the weight. And the reason you would do that is to let Whatnot know what they should charge the buyer for shipping if they happen to purchase that item. Now, we've only ran a few polo shirt shows, but this is the way that we do it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just what we feel is the best way to run it at the moment. And that is, I will make one single listing for all the polo shirts. And I'm going to show you how we do it. So we're going to add a temporary listing. It's in the category golf apparel. The title is going to be golf polo shirt. And I'm going to put used. I don't know why. I just always make sure that I reiterate it's a used polo shirt. Or I guess I don't have to. I'm just going to put golf polo shirt. It's going to be an auction, meaning that each one we're going to run the auction, and we have been doing a 10-second auction. And every time somebody bids, it adds another 10 seconds. We don't know if we're going to continue to do that. We might do 30-second. We might do sudden death. Sudden death is like, it doesn't add any more time to the clock. So if you run a 10-second sudden death, at the very end, whoever is last to swipe is the one that wins the item. And then I'm going to do starting price. You can definitely change this, the starting price, when you go to run each individual one. So let's say I have a polo where it's worth more than $5. I don't want to start at $5. I want to start it at $7. I can actually go and edit it when I go to run it and change that price from $5 to $7. This is just the default price that you'll have for each time you go to run it. And then quantity, I'll put 50 or I'll put 100. It doesn't really matter. And then shipping profile. So this is where you could do the maybe small and then maybe another one for medium and another one for large, and you can choose the different weights. So for the polos, I'm going to do 8 to 11 ounces. I weighed them all, and that's pretty much all of them are either 8, 9, 10, or 11 ounces. You can put a SKU or item number or whatever. We don't do that. So we're just going to hit add. And then you can see in the show that we have 100 polo shirts. So when we go to run it, then we can run it at $5, and we can also choose how long we're going to run it and how much time is going to be added if somebody bids. All right, so we have a light here, a light over here, and then here are the polos. We're just going to pull up the show. So I can pull it up right here. The first one that goes live is the one that's going to be the main camera. So I will have to start the show on this, and then I will enter through this. So you can see I have a start stream and I have a start show. So we'll start show on the phone, and then I will join on the computer. So you can see the countdown. We've got about 2 minutes left. I always leave a notepad so I can write stuff down. And yeah. So those are all the polos that we're going to try to sell. So let's see how many we do. I'm also going to use this to write down the number that it sells. So the first polo will get a number 1, and I'll put it on the polo. And then I'll write a number 2 for the second one that sells, number 3, number 4, and so on. So that's how we do it.
Does it go all the time or automatically?
No, you have to press the start show. Go live. And turn around the camera. We use our computer a lot. I want to show you how to do this on the computer, or if you have a tablet, you're going to go to add a listing. It's in the golf apparel. We're going to put golf polo shirt, just like we did on the when I was doing it on my phone. Starting price $5, quantity 100. Condition is used. Shipping profile, we're going to do the 8 to 11 pounds, or 8 to 11 ounces. And then I'm going to add a photo for this. And then I'm going to hit confirm. Now you can see on the left hand side, that is my listing as seen on the computer. So what I'm going to do is do product actions. I'm going to start the auction. And if you wanted to do sudden death, you would turn this on. Starting price is $5. This is where you can change it, like I said. Time, we're going to go to 10 seconds, and then if somebody bids, it's going to add another 10 seconds to the auction. So once you have this set, then all you have to do is hit start auction.
Lighting on our next show, the one behind our camera, because it does kind of look yellowish, but Definitely a gray and black. Zip off sleeves.
All right, Ryan the Magnificent.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Spring golf, fall golf shirt. We got, again, blue on the inside of the sleeves. Blue zipper, of course.
We'll run it.
And we'll run this one at $5. And this is an XL. Again, fits probably a little big compared to like a polo, for example. But good quality shirt from Nike. You can see the inside has kind of that mesh material on it. Also has Nike.
All right, Jay Smitty.
Jay Smitty. All right, congrats. Let's see. Cubs fans.
Somebody said run the Texas one.
All right, let's run that one, and then we got a good soul after that. I don't think it's reflective, but has a little white part on the back collar there. We'll go ahead and get this ran. Nike Dry Fit Texas Longhorn 3X. Good quality shirt from Nike.
All right, Dilly Dilly.
Dilly Dilly.
I feel like Dilly Dilly's been in here before.
Possibly. All right, we're gonna up next.
All right, so this show we did $277 in sales. It was an hour and 11 minutes. There were 3 people that shared it and we had 45 orders. So that was pretty darn good. And this is all that we have left. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 polos left. So I think one of the issues we had was during the show, well, not during the show, at the very beginning, we actually realized that our lighting was not that good. So there's this light right here. And that one was just too yellow. So I usually have a ring light in here and it got broken. Needless to say, I need to get another one because these lights work perfect, but that one was just showing off too much of a yellow, which means that some stuff was looking discolored. I'm gonna let my dogs out. We're needing to go out during the show, but we're like, you gotta wait till the show's done. I think the show went really good. There's some stuff we can improve on. This is only our 4th show that we've done, so we definitely have some growth to do. Hopefully this video was helpful, give you an idea of how we set everything up, and I'll probably do a couple more of these. Whatnot's just so different than eBay, what we're used to, and Poshmark, so we're learning just like everybody else. And make sure to follow us because we'll be putting out a lot more videos about Whatnot.